Government of India, MOHW, supported by TNA headquarters and hosted by College of Nursing AIMS. The aim of this workshop was to enhance the knowledge of nursing personnel in health informatics and refine their skill sets to enable in incorporating this evidence-based practice in their clinical settings. Our target group consisted of nursing personnel from teaching and service side, from institutes, hospitals under Delhi government, as well as private institutes and hospitals. The 7 days deliberation was structured around brief presentations by elite speakers in the field, discussions and practical hands-on sessions to allow all participants to enter into the reality of the practical domain. The day one began with the registration of the participants, which were about 30. One of the participants could not attend because of a mishappening at her home. And there are 29 participants, as already our Secretary Madam has briefed through all the hospitals and institutes. The inaugural function brought together erudite and distinguished guests. The welcome address was given by Ms. Shaini Chako, Secretary TNA Delhi State Branch. Dr. M. Srinivas, Director AIMS, was a chief guest. Mrs. Annie Kumar, Vice President Northern Region TNA, was a guest of honor. Special address and briefing of the activities of TNA was done by Mrs. Evelyn P. Kannan, Secretary General TNAI. The theme was digitally unfolded by Dr. Latha Venkatesan, Principal College of Nursing, AIMS, New Delhi. The presidential address was given by Dr. L. Gopichandran, President TNA Delhi State Branch, and vote of thanks was proposed by Bindu Shaju, Coordinator and Chairperson of Nursing Education Session. Sessions which were, the first session was by Dr. Latha Venkatesan, who took on elaborative session on importance of computer application for patient care delivery system and nursing practice. The sessions covered different applications of computers in education, practice, administration, etc. This was followed by the interesting session on computer applications, Windows, MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint by Dr. Vishesh Jain, Additional Professor, Department of Pediatric Surgery, AIMS, Delhi. The afternoon sessions were devoted for practical session on computer applications, where participants were given tasks to be completed on their systems. The practical sessions were taken by Ms. Shaini Chako and Ms. Bindu Shaju. The sessions were concluded at 4:30. The moderator for the day was Dr. Shashi Mawar, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIMS, Delhi. Day 2 began with a review of the previous day's session by the participants. The first session for the day was Nursing Informatics, Its Need and Objectives by Dr. L. Gopichandran. He foregrounded the significance and need for strengthening this field for nursing. The focus of the next session was on Hospital Information System, NIS, Benefits of Computer Automation in Healthcare by Ms. Angelina Singh, Nursing Officer, NIS. This was followed by a session on e-health, use of information and communication technology to improve personal and public healthcare by Dr. Harsha Salve, Additional Professor, Department of CCM, AIMS, Delhi. The day ended with the amalgamation of the theoretical session with practical aspects of nursing informatics by Ms. Angelina Singh, which gave high impetus to the overall deliberation. The moderator for day 2 was Ms. Dr. Manju Rajora, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIMS, Delhi. Day 3 was structured around the topic Electronic Health Records and Documentation. Healthcare apps role in remote monitoring was taken by Dr. L. Gopichandran. The session was interactive with discussions and feedbacks from the floor. The session was followed by EHR, Data Security and Storage by Dr. Narendra Kumar, SR, Hospital Administration, AIMS. How to overcome challenges in implementation of electronic health records was dealt very emphatically by Ms. Deepa Chugh, Head of Nursing Services, National Heart Institute, New Delhi. Post-lunch session was on data management software in healthcare and practical sessions on electronic health records by Dr. Girish Jier, SR, Department of CCM, AIMS. The moderator for day 3 was Ms. Aditi Prashant Sinha, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIMS. Day 4 began with a review again of the previous day's sessions by participants. The topics discussed for the day was under the title Evidence-Based Practice in Nursing. The first session was an elaborative one taken by Dr. Gopichandran on EBP process. Implementing evidence-based practice in nursing was the next session engaged and briefed by Ms. Gina Jose, Nursing Superintendent, Holy Family Hospital, New Delhi. Various methods and strategies for implementation of EBP was part of the session. In relevance to this topic was the next session on barriers in practicing evidence-based practice in nursing, handled by Dr. Rakesh Yoda, Professor, Department of Pediatrics, AIMS, Delhi. The post-lunch sessions revolved around practical sessions based on case scenarios on EBP taken by Dr. Ujjwal Dahiya, Associate Professor, and Ms. Mamta, Tutor, College of Nursing, AIMS. The day concluded with discussions and clarification of queries of participants. The moderator for day 4 was Dr. Pragya Padak, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIIMS Delhi. Day 5 again followed with a review session by participants. An interesting session was undertaken by Dr. Pragya, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIIMS Delhi, on latest global developments and standards to enable lifelong EHR. With much intricateness was a session on descriptive statistics and graphical representation of data by Ms. Smita Das, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIIMS. The session also covered testing of normality and homogeneity of data. There was further a detailed session covered by Ms. Lewis Murray, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIIMS, on parametric tests, one sample t-test, independent t-test, and paired t-test. Post-lunch practical sessions were structured around discussions and work on SPSS, covering parametric statistics detailed by Dr. Muthu Venkachalam, Assistant Professor, IBAS, New Delhi. The day covered comprehensive aspects on the title, Database for Nursing Research and Introduction to SPSS. The moderator for Day 5 was Dr. Rimple Sharma, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIIMS. Day 6 covered topics under SPSS and medical legal aspects. Mr. Ajish TK, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIIMS, undertook an extensive session on data analysis in qualitative research. Dr. Ashwin Kumar Mishra, Additional Professor, NDTC, AIIMS, took the following session on non-parametric tests. The practical sessions were structured around discussions and works on SPSS, covering non-parametric statistics detailed again by Dr. Muthu Venkachalam. Post-lunch was a well-outlined session on ethical aspects in nursing informatics and data management by Ms. Cecilia and Ms. Ayal, College of Nursing, AIIMS. The moderator for Day 6 was Ms. Cecilia, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIIMS Delhi. The Day 7 began again with a review of previous day. The discussion mark for the day is under the topic Artificial Intelligence in Nursing. The first session encompassed an artificial intelligence and its application in nursing taken by Ms. Cecilia, Associate Professor, College of Nursing, AIIMS. That was the first session which was covered. This valedictory session we are now in will be followed by the remaining sessions under this umbrella topic. The sessions that will be covered are Telenursing, Scope and Guidelines by Dr. Shashi Mawar, Literature Search Techniques by Dr. Prabodh Goyal, and a post-lunch session on implementation experience sharing of telenursing by Ms. Devanshi Chowdhury, Nursing Officer, AIIMS, New Delhi. The sessions will be moderated by Cecilia, Associate Professor, College of Nursing. The evaluation aspect of this workshop will be done through pre-test is already administered and a post-test will be administered after the sessions, and the analysis will be done and the feedback forms will be taken. I am sure that the participants have thus far greatly enjoyed the chance to meet like-minded people from so many colleges and hospitals, the opportunity to network and to learn from one another, and a chance to explore ideas and refine their skills. With a note of cheer to the organizers, spearheaded by an efficient team of DNA Telestilprat and AIIMS College of Nursing, heartfelt gratitude to our supporters, TNA headquarters, and a wave of applaud to the participants. I now would wish to conclude this report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for this detailed presentation of the 7 days workshop. Now, the chief guest for today's program, Dr. Deepika Cecil Khaka, the nursing advisor for Government of India. Ma'am, I would like to request you to kindly grace the occasion and share your thoughts and wisdom to the gathering. You can even share your emotions coming home back, homecoming emotions also you can share. It's whole liberty to you.
Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Dr. Gopi Chandran, the President of DNA Delhi branch. Madam Bindu Shaiju, the coordinator of the workshop. Madam Shaini, the Delhi branch secretary. Dr. Ujjwal, the coordinator of the workshop from AIIMS. The dignitaries, Dr. Shashi Mawar, Ms. Cecilia, my dear participants, dear volunteers, Abhishek, and I don't know by your name, Jaya. It's my honor and privilege to be here, and Dolma, sorry, Dolma and Rekha. It's my privilege and honor to be here at this moment, and I'm really very happy to see that TNA has conducted a 7-day workshop, which is very commendable because generally these workshops are not more than 2 to 3 days, and 7 days you had full attendance. So that is really to be appreciated. That kind of shows your quest for learning. And the topic which is covered, which is called integration of nursing informatics and evidence-based practice, this is a very pertinent topic. Very pertinent because now with the digitalization era, it is everybody should be computer literate. I know majority, as a human being, we are having some kind of mindset that we are resistant to change. Anything which is new technology set up, before we try to understand, our human tendency is to resist it. That generally this is not our काम, ये हमारा काम नहीं है, हमारा काम और बढ़ जाएगा. This kind of reactions we get from people. But the thing is कि if we are not keeping ourselves updated, we become redundant. जैसे पहले I also do not know कि Uber कैब कैसे बुक करते हैं. Small things. Paytm कैसे करते हैं. But because the demand is that you have to learn in order to survive. So similarly, in order to be an active participant of the healthcare system, we have to update ourselves. Now with the coming of this new legislation that we have to regularly, in order to renew your license, you need to have credit hours. It is mandatory to get CNE programs. But if you are getting yourself updated, you are there, you can stand on the same platform and talk to the other healthcare team members. That yes, I am also computer literate. Which is now, at the current scenario, it is not the need of the hour, it is a necessity. It is not an option. So, digitalization, the sooner you learn, the better it is. Otherwise, you feel like an illiterate person. अगर आपके पास email address नहीं है या आपको computer use करना नहीं आता, now पहले mobile phone was not there. Now mobile phone has come. We have learned how to use. वैसे I have an iPhone. I also don't know all the functions of iPhone, but I can still operate what is pertinent to me. Similarly, in order to be an important resource in the healthcare sector, we need to learn computer. We need to learn digitalization. That is not an option. It is a necessity now. So we want to be still, because I sit in the ministry now, and we have very high level discussions. Generally, the feeling in the ministry is that nurses are giving away all their responsibilities. Earlier nurses, the senior people always respect and appreciate that. Even the Director General keeps telling me this. I learned a lot from nurses when I was an intern, when I was doing house job. They taught me a lot. But the same situation is not the same now. Why? Because we are giving away our duties. We are saying ये हमारा काम नहीं है, ये उसका. अगर हम अपने सारे responsibilities देते जाएंगे तो फिर लोग बोलेंगे nurses की जरूरत ही क्या है? No, we can do it with support staff. We can do it with people on contract. So we have to. That is called quality when you do such good work that your absence is felt. When you are not there, people miss you because of your quality of work. Nobody likes you for your pretty face or for your fancy degree. You are only respected and appreciated by the quality of work you put in any organization you are working. Then only you are missed. I just shared a small example yesterday. Yesterday I had gone for a validatory session. Like I have come today, the ministry had funded that program. It is leadership in infection control, and I was at NHIFW, at Munika. And so there was a group of like 50 people which we had trained in infection control. It was a master trained program. And I was giving away the certificates. Like there were 4 or 5 of us. There was the director of NIHMW. I was there. Then this was done in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University in the US. So there were people from Johns Hopkins also. So because they were telling me to give away the certificates, because all of us were standing, so I told the director, "Madam, कुछ आप दे दो, कुछ ये दे दे, मतलब equally देते हैं." So in the participants, there was one of my student, my ex-student. And the person who was like handing over the certificates, she told her specially कि मैं मैडम के हाथ से दूँगी. I saw her saying that. Now why? This is not just because I am the nursing advisor. It was because the respect and that the regard she had for me, that she did not want to take it from a professor of Johns Hopkins, who was a white person by the way. She wanted to take it from me. Because if you are having a degree with a white person, it looks nice as if you are going to Johns Hopkins. But she opted to have it from me because of the respect. So the way you work, the quality of your work will have a very long lasting impression. And all of us are under radar. It is not that only me sitting in the ministry. Anything we do, good or bad, is reflected somewhere. Sometimes I have meetings with very high profile senior officers, IS officers now. One of them was saying in the meeting कि nurses की problems तो बहुत है, पर अगर एक बार अस्पताल चले जाओ ना, उनका attitude देख के ना उनके लिए कुछ करने का मन नहीं करता. ठीक है? So it is not the system. It is us also who is to be blamed. Somewhere we also went wrong. See, picture you cannot have a myopic view. You have to have a total view. So कहीं हमारी गलती भी है. हम ठीक है सिस्टम को ब्लेम करते हैं, गवर्नमेंट को ब्लेम करते हैं. हम ब्लेम करना बहुत आसान है, पर हमें अपने आप को भी देखना है कि हमारा क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन है. व्हाट डिफरेंस आर वी मेकिंग इन द सिस्टम. एंड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, आप 1000 चीजें अच्छी करोगे, उसकी तरफ कोई ध्यान नहीं देगा. नेगेटिविटी हैज अ लॉट ऑफ ग्रेविटी. जो नेगेटिव चीज होती है ना, उसमें बहुत खिंचावट होती है. एक जगह किसी नर्स ने कुछ गड़बड़ करी, दैट विल हैव अ रिपल इफेक्ट. दिस विल गो अ लॉन्ग वे. 1000 people are doing 1000 good things, that will not be appreciated. So always remember, you are answerable for your actions. And always remember, patient is our bread and butter. If patient is there, we are there. So please respect that and remember that. All of us can make a difference. It is not me only sitting in the ministry that I am your leader. All of us have a potential to make a difference. जो भी patients आपके contact में आते हैं, जो भी students आपके contact में आते हैं, be a role model. That students will remember you. They will respect you. And the patient will remember you. कि हाँ भाई वहाँ पे वो गए थे, वहाँ मुझे बहुत अच्छे से ट्रीट किया गया. So be that person who is going to make a positive difference in the life of a person. Then learning never ends. It is from womb to tomb. So always have a quest for learning. Never think कि मुझे अब सब आता है. When you have that kind of mindset ना, then your growth stops. I was also earlier, as I was saying, I was a teacher. I was teaching here. Now my work purpose is very different. I cannot say कि ये मैंने कभी काम नहीं किया, मैं नहीं सीखूंगी. I'm learning. I'm still learning, and I will learn till the last day of my position as nursing advisor. And I'm always open. And even if I don't know anything, I ask people. I ask my seniors. I even ask my juniors, because it is better to ask and do the right thing rather than thinking I am the nursing advisor. I cannot do anything wrong and make a mistake. So I even ask my clerk who is working under me कि ये कैसे करना है if I don't know. So it is always better if you don't know, ask, than you make a grave mistake. Then as Dr. Govi was saying, आपने जो भी यहाँ सीखा है, try to reflect it into your practice. एक तो आपको digitalization आ गया, फिर है evidence based. बहुत कुछ चीजें हमारे profession में in India problem ये है कि we don't generate evidence, we don't do research, so we don't come to know that what is happening. Like sometimes I sit in the meetings, they ask me evidence क्या है. Evidence means आपके पास data है to claim what you are saying. I cannot say arbitrarily कि ऐसी चीज है ना. So it is our responsibility to also, जरूरी है कि research का मतलब बहुत बड़ा project करना. Like I used to earlier attend conferences in which I remember one very clearly that in trauma center one nurse has done a small study on the day of Holi. कितने level के trauma patients आते हैं. So this is a very one day study, but इसका repercussion क्या है कि next time होली के पहले आप plan कर लोगे कि कितना patient आपका load है, किस तरह के patient आते हैं, किस तरह का सामान आपके पास ready होना चाहिए, है ना? तो you can do small things around you also and get it published so that we are able to generate evidence to say कि yes there is some contribution. Because अगर आप publish करते हो ना, तभी आपकी visibility होती है. If you don't publish, you do a lot of work, but it is not published, it does not hold any value. So it has to be published. Then learn from each other also. Not just learning from your leaders, but learn from each other. Sometimes you can learn a lot of good things from class D officers, D employees also. And always remember, everybody is important in the chain. Everybody is important. And everybody needs to be respected. Respect is something which is mutual. You give respect, you take respect. You cannot say that because I am the boss, I am the ANS or I am the TNS or I am the nursing superintendent or I am the principal or I am the nursing advisor, I demand respect. Respect is got you get by the kind of work you put in. I remember I have clinical experience also. I have done bedside nursing for 13 years. in AIMS only, and I know even the sanitary worker or the orderly is very important. अगर आपका जिस दिन नया orderly आया था ना, उसको आपके वार्ड के बारे में पता नहीं है, कुछ बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है. सैंपल कहीं और छोड़ आएगा, पेशेंट को ले जाना कहीं ऊपर लेके कहीं चला जाएगा. So everybody is important in the chain, and you have to respect that, and that we have to remember. So if you have respect, and if your team in which you are working, everybody gets his due regard, then you have a very good conducive working environment, and the patient outcome and the quality of work and the morale of the people is also high. The other day I was attending a meeting in the ministry, and in which they were saying that in trauma center they were having some mortality conference, and in which they found out they lost the patient because the orderly at that point of time went to have chai. Now we know कि अगर orderly चाय पीने चला गया तो blood bank से blood लाने के लिए blood arrange हो गया था, पर लाने वाला कोई नहीं था. So why I'm sharing this example is that everybody is important, and in order to have a good team building, you need to respect everybody. Remember, everybody's contribution is basically a team effort. Patient, when he comes to us, how well and how fast he goes back is not just one person's show. It is everybody's contribution. So please keep that in mind when you are working. And always remember, all of us are responsible in some way or the other for patient care. And integrity means that you do the right thing when nobody is watching. You know, we are very easy to complain. We say कि system ठीक नहीं है, सरकार हमारे को ये नहीं दे रहा, apathy है. हमें देखना है what is our contribution, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, what is our योगदान to make this world a better place. That is very important. It is very easy to complain. So people have sometimes said that if they are not properly treated, they are not having, they are not getting the due regard. But I am just telling from personal experience that God is a very fair judge. God's ACR लिखते हैं ना लोग. I don't know, सरकारी में लिखते हैं, I don't know government. You have some confidential quote. Yeah. God's ACR is very unbiased. It is very fair. So whatever you do, they say the karma. Whatever goes around comes around. So please have that mindset and have that feeling that we are taking care of patients. That patient is also somebody's brother, father, mother, sister. So similarly, that person is important. And our contribution, our handling the patient, sometimes even if you listen to the patient or even if you are empathetically listen to the patient can make a lot of difference. So please have that kind of mindset that yes, everybody, see, if you read the history, all the big revolutions were started by a single mind. One single person had a different way of thinking and it turned into a revolution. So all of us have potential to make a change. All of us can be a catalyst of excellence, perfection, quality. All of us have. Instead of saying ये नहीं कर रहा, you have to see मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, ये कर रही हूँ. Don't see what others are doing. See what you are doing, and always compete with your own self. Try to become a better version of yourself every day.